Hey everyone, it's me. It is Memorial Day weekend. I hope you're out celebrating, enjoying this beautiful weather. I did want to jump on again. Today is day 5 already, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about some real estate stuff. So today's topic is how to get started as a buyer. It is one of the questions I get asked probably the most frequently, whether, oftentimes it is a first-time buyer asking these questions, but sometimes it's just someone who hasn't, been involved in the process in a while, or is looking for, an income property or something of that nature, which then obviously the guidelines and rules, so to say, are a little bit different. But I want to talk right now about how to get started as a buyer. So I'm going to give it to you in kind of a step-by-step process, and then explain through the steps. And then beyond that, since it will be a decent amount of information, I'm going to create a flyer that I'm going to post for you to just have easy access to. And then, of course, if the flyer is helpful, which I hope it is, you can share that and pass it along to other people as well. It will have my contact information. If anyone has more questions, always call, text, email, whatever's easiest for you. And we can talk about it, no pressure. Just because you contact me for some information doesn't mean you have to work with me. I'm not like that. I will not hound you just because you had a few questions. So again, how to get started as a buyer. Step one really is consideration. If you've had that thought, I'd like to move, or, this area is nice, I wonder what it would be like to live here. Or if you're currently renting or just not owning, have you had that thought of, I'd like to own, it's about time, how can I make this happen? That to me is really step one. Before you can take any sort of physical action, it really comes down to, are you ready? Part of the process is a mental process. This is a big commitment. This is a lot of money that you're going to be shelling out or agreeing to pay, and it's a big deal. So step one is consideration. If that's where you are right now, I challenge you to push a little further, even if you're still on the fence and really not sure which direction you're going to go. And I challenge you to look into steps 2 and 3 that I'll talk about right now. And here's why. Steps 2 and 3 can be done concurrently, and steps 2 and 3 don't tie you into anything. And in fact, most of the steps until the very end provide a way for you to get out. So keep that in mind as well. You're not, just because you're calling an agent, hopefully me, or going to see homes does not mean you're tied into that. So just know that. So step 2. Step 2 is pre-approval. Most, if not all, agents that you work with are going to want you to already have some sort of verification that, yes, I have my financial business in order. This is what I can pay. This is how much money, I can afford. This is the budget we're working with. The pre-approval can be accessed or gained through a relationship either with your bank. You'll want to go to your bank and you'll want to ask to speak to a loan officer, or if you know a loan officer, does not have to be through a bank. It could be through a mortgage company or of the like. You can go through that person. You can contact me. I have several people that I can give you information for. A few of them I've worked with personally on my own transactions, and then several others I've had clients of mine that have worked with or are working with currently. And I'm very straightforward. I'll tell you my honest opinion about the relationships I've had, and if I think that would be someone who could work for you. So loan officer pre-approval is a big step. That's really the first concrete step for moving forward in any sort of capacity. Step 3 is finding an agent. So that's why I kind of said those 2 steps can happen concurrently, or back to back, however you want to do it. But those 2 steps essentially then are the real first steps in taking any sort of physical action. Finding an agent, obviously, hello, me, call me, text me, email me. I'd love to work with you. But again, it's all about a good fit. I've kind of told you about the type of person I am, the type of agent that I'll be when working for you. But I can give you more information. So when you call, when you text, we'll go through the details in that sense, because it really does have to be a good fit. If it's not a good fit for you, it's not going to work. And that's it, simply said. That's what it is. Back to the pre-approval. Several types of loans. A lot of people come and beyond, the initial question of how do I get started, the next thing is, well, how much cash at hand do I have to have? And really that depends. So when you have the conversation with your loan officer and you're talking about the various options and what you might want to be doing and how to move forward, one of the things they're going to talk to you about is the type of loan that you're going to be going after, or the type of loan they're offering for you. In some cases, you'll have just one type of loan and that's what you have to work with. And sometimes you'll have options. So the main types are conventional. Conventional loan is the, one that a lot of people do, but does require a higher down payment. So a conventional loan, if you have good credit and good standing, a bank will give you, but you need to expect to have 10 to 20 sometimes % of your total home value put aside for your down payment, and then an additional sum, often sometimes close to that same amount, down for your closing costs. So those numbers are numbers that your loan officer can give you based on your pre-approval amount, to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. I can help you with that, but really it's not my forte. To give you a very, very brief and general example, well, actually that loan's different, so I'll talk about that in a moment. So conventional is one type of loan. Another type is a VA. If you are a veteran, you have amazing benefits out there for you. Take advantage. If you don't know about them, seek them out. Call me. I will let you know. VA loans are pretty awesome. You guys deserve it, and it doesn't require much down. So if that's the way you can go, I say do it. And the last type is an FHA loan. FHA loans are federally insured loans. They're a little bit different. They have a slightly different rules, and depending on what loan officer you go through, those rules will be a little different. So most of them, though, require either 3.5% down or 5% down. So it is a lower down payment, but there's some other things that come with that. So again, if that ends up being your option, talk to your loan officer, ask me some questions. We can go over the details to make sure you fully understand what you're getting into, what the expectations are for you, and then how to make that happen or not happen. If it's not going to work for you, we don't want you getting over your head. So those will be conversations that we will have. So those are the three main types of loans. Buyers of mine very recently, I'll use them as the example, had an FHA loan. They had consulted more than one loan officer, which is another thing you can do. I actually recommend it. Get some various options, almost like seeing your doctor, right? Get a second opinion. And the two loans that they were using were both FHA, but one had an offer of 3.5% down, which sounds better than the other, which was 5, right? However, the strings that were attached to the 3.5 didn't work for this particular couple, and they ended up going with the 5% down. So however it works for you is fine. But to give you an idea of what that means, the home value that this particular couple is looking at was around 160, and in terms of their closing costs and their down payment, they're looking at around $10,000 cash on hand for those things. Now, if you're thinking you have a slightly higher budget, let's just give you another number, say it's closer to $300,000, then if you're going with a similar type of loan, just to give you an estimate, you're gonna wanna anticipate closer to $20,000 to $22,000 cash at hand. Now, that's a lot of money. So, if you're a little overwhelmed by that number, take a deep breath. And remember, not only do you have time to get to that number, but there are also some programs out there in place to help you get to that number. So again, that's a question for your loan officer or a question for me. There are some Cook County programs specific, and then there's just some other programs and other loan options that provide you some money back to assist with the down payment. So don't get scared. Don't turn around and run. Just ask for more information, whether that's through the loan officer you've already been contacting or through me. I will gladly help you, try and figure it out. If it's something you want to do, we're going to try and make it happen. So that brings us through our first 3 steps. Probably the most important, most crucial. It's going to set up how the rest of this whole process plays out. So again, that was step 1 was consideration. Hopefully some of you are already there. Step 2 is the pre-approval, or step 3, those can be interchangeable, is find the agent, reach out to me. And then step 4, probably the most fun, find the property, right? That's what everyone wants to focus on. Let's dive in, let's go looking. And yes, that is fun. That is exciting. That's my favorite part. But it's probably, also then the most time consuming. So keep that in mind. Some people come in with an idea they want to move in a month. Okay, good luck. Probably not going to happen. Closings are typically 30 to 60 days out from the time of your accepted contract. So again, some of those details we can go over if we hopefully work together, but keep that in mind for your timeline. Try not to rush. Again, this is a lot of money. This is a home you're in theory going to be in for a long time. You want to make sure it's a good fit. So that next step 4, finding the property. Woo, exciting. Beyond that, the best and most important part of that step is getting an accepted offer. So having an official signed contract. Once you have that, then you can move on to step 4. So we've built a relationship. I know what you want. I've listened to you. We've scoured the areas that you're looking in. We found you the house. It's the one. We make the offer. I fight for you. We get the best deal, best price possible. Step 5, set a closing date. Now, these are the things from steps 5 and 6, and sometimes there's a step 7. These are the steps that people get a little overwhelmed on. Step 5, setting the closing date. When you set the closing date, again, typically 30 to 60 days out, can be a little longer than that if needed, can be extended if you agree with your seller. But more importantly, before that closing date, what needs to happen? Well, an inspection. You're going to want the property to be inspected. You're going to want to make sure that what you see is what you get and you have no surprises. Inspections cost on average between $350 and $500. So just another cost to be aware of. Beyond that, you're going to need a lawyer. I know several great ones. Again, several I've worked with, some I've known for a while and growing up, and others just that I've had clients work with and have given me great reviews on. So the lawyer, or you have one. So the lawyer, again, your choice. On average, around $500 for the lawyer. And actually, 2 of them I work with provide a refund if needed. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And then beyond that, once you have your lawyer and you have your loan officer and you have those things moving, you have your inspection, you're going to need an appraisal. You want to make sure that you're not overpaying for the property that you're purchasing, right? It's smart to do. Many of the loans, especially if it's an FHA, are going to require it. They also want to make sure that in addition to the inspection, all of the things that need to happen or have happened, if that makes sense. The house is safe. They want to make sure you're entering a safe home. Okay, so all of those things are going to happen. You're going to be in contact with me.